Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Welcome to a conversation around divine timing. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you for being here. I am truly honored and grateful that you are one of the few who are truly driven by what matters, looking to deepen your connection to the divine and expand into your highest potential. Very few are truly driven to go deeper and to fully self-actualize and become all that you can be so that you can help make the world a better place. And I just want you to know how grateful I am that you are here with me today. If you are already part of the family, if you could make sure to give this video a thumbs up or a rating if you are on the podcast, I would greatly appreciate your support in helping spread the message so that we can spread healing, hope, and the expansion of heaven on earth. If you are new here, welcome. I'm excited that you are now part of our soul family. I'm so excited about today's episode because waiting for divine timing, come to find out, was actually a really big issue for me most of my life, and I didn't even realize how it was holding me back. And the principles that I'm going to share with you today are what helped me expand and grow at an exponential rate. And these principles are the core of what changed my life and helped me go from waiting and hoping and wishing for someone to come save me and catapulted me into expansion at a faster rate than I ever could have dreamed of, receiving the download for a tremendously life-changing healing modality, becoming a somatic trauma healer, and creating a thriving and healing coaching business. Not to mention my beautiful family and a life that I absolutely love living. This stuff is real, and what you are about to hear in this video could be life-changing. And you really don't have to do much. You just simply need a new understanding and a new perspective, and it will change your brain. And I do believe your life is going to change just by listening to this episode, because this has had such a significant impact on my life. I know it will change yours. So let's talk about divine timing. I want to share with you a little story. Back in 2012, when I was first coming out of my dark night of the soul and really expanding into personal development and bettering myself, one of the first books that I read was Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And this book is arguably one of the best of all time and certainly one of the most well-known. It helps you come to the understanding of how your thoughts become things and create your reality. And if this concept is new to you, make sure you check out the previous videos I've done helping you understand this more thoroughly. Check out the episode How to Reprogram Your Thoughts for More Positive Thinking, or the keys to mastering your mind so that you can stop negative thinking for good. And once you become tuned into this conversation, you start to realize that most of your challenges in life are simply a misunderstanding of how the game called life is played. And what that means is some of the things that you believe are creating your reality, and they are simply not true. One of which is the belief in divine timing. Yes, it is true that the divine steps in and sometimes brings miracles into our life. But more often than not, we are waiting for something outside of us to come save us. And yes, even though we're waiting on God, this is still holding us back. And these beliefs can take on many variations or flavors or forms. It might be beliefs about yourself, beliefs about love and relationships, belief about your health, belief about money or your business, your purpose, or your capabilities here in this life. But the truth is, what we are creating in waiting is more waiting. Now, I'm not suggesting that you need to hustle and grind either. There is a middle way. And that is by identifying the inner resistance that you are harboring against the change that you seek. You see, many times we are waiting for God to drop in a miracle and do something for us because there is resistance within us to moving towards the thing that we seek, and we don't even realize it. And so the trick is learning how to identify the beliefs and the resistance and transform them. In the end, that is what life is really all about. It was a little over 10 years ago when I first started playing with some of these ideas, and I quickly realized I had limiting beliefs in every possible area of my life. Thanks to a very difficult childhood and a narcissistic pastor for a father, I had a very pervasive lack mentality and a tendency towards only seeing problems and therefore developing limiting beliefs. And while I lived a very isolated and secluded life in my formative years, I somehow managed to break free from poverty and create a healthy, thriving, successful corporate career. But I was still very limited in my belief around how to make money. And when I heard of divine timing, I learned that building a relationship with my source creator would also bring in guidance. And I developed a belief that I had to wait for the guidance and the divine timing for things to fall into place in my life. I began to believe that the only way to create overflow in my life or to step into my purpose-driven business was to wait for the divine to give that to me. I started to believe that it had to come through some magical, supernatural vision or apparition. And after many years of waiting for that golden ticket to fall into my lap, I began to get frustrated, maybe even a little bit resentful towards God and the universe, questioning, why doesn't it happen for me? Why does it happen for others? What did I do wrong? Am I not worthy? Again, more of these layers of the limiting beliefs from my toxic childhood. I had a belief that I couldn't do it on my own, that I needed someone to come help me. I was waiting for the perfect business partner or for the divine to show me how. But the truth was, God was waiting on me. And I finally came to realize that the belief in divine timing, or the belief that I had to wait for something outside of me to make it happen, was the very source of the problem. The truth was, I had been given guidance. I had been given the next right step, but it didn't come with waves of goosebumps or angels singing. It was a simple thought that required simple and mundane action that maybe was even a little bit boring and I didn't feel super excited about. But the truth was, that was the next right step that I was given, and I was not going to be given more until I took that step. You see, divine timing is not some magical date and time that God has pinned on the calendar, but rather alignment within us. When we do the work, we step into our power and we take responsibility for the creative abilities that we have been gifted, that's when things start to fall into place. That is the divine timing. And many times the guidance we seek comes in a still small voice. It sounds like just another thought. And because I refused to believe that that was divine guidance, or that things needed to be done for me or happen for me outside of me, I was stuck in waiting for divine timing. I had a belief that I can't do it on my own, but I didn't realize that that subtle belief was hiding underneath the belief in divine timing. The truth was, I didn't want to do it on my own. I wanted someone to do it for me. And when I came to understand that belief, that's when everything changed. And instead of asking repeatedly for more and more guidance, I started saying thank you for the guidance I had already received. And then from there, I knew it was up to me to take the action that I had been given guidance on, and to question, why is it that I'm not taking this action? What beliefs or resistance are lying underneath? There's always layers of these beliefs and resistance and blocks. I discovered that there was a part of me that believed by not taking action, I was keeping myself safe. If I avoided the action that I knew would help me grow, I was also avoiding potential criticism or too much attention, which originated from a childhood wound around rejection. And as it turns out, everything that a person does comes from a place of believing that is necessary to survive. So if you have an action or a behavior that is undesirable, that you wish you could change, we want to look at what is the underlying subconscious or very subtle belief that has caused you to believe this is necessary to keep yourself safe or to survive. So I had to recognize that my belief was that I would get hurt if I had visibility. And so it's necessary to undo or to reprogram that belief. Otherwise, I will end up creating it. I had to work through the lack of motivation due to an misaligned intention as well. While I started this business because I want to help people, and that still remains the foundation of everything I do, there still was subtle programming that was sneaking in as I was doing research and taking courses from all of those people who are driven by finances. And so people will tell you, build a business so you can become wealthy, sell courses so that you can travel the world and have all the luxuries. And yes, that's great. I'm open to receiving that. But there was a part of me that was feeling cognitive dissonance because that is not my driving motivation. And so there was a part of me that believed if I accomplish this, I will become like those people that I don't want to be. And so I had to realign my motivation and remind myself the reason I do this is for that little girl who's hiding in the closet trying to hide from her abusive father, so that I can help bring her hope and healing, a brighter future. I don't have motivation to build a business to become wealthy. I do have motivation to build a business to help that little girl. And so if we lose sight of our why, we lose sight of the real reason why we are doing this, we're going to lack motivation. And if we are driven by something that is superficial, not wanting to be a superficial person, we are misaligned to our values, and we will not be able to force ourselves to do the things that we know we need to do. And so you will find yourself sabotaging and saying, I have enough. I don't really need to make more, just so that you can stay aligned to your values, especially if you don't want to be a greedy or materialistic person. We will find ourselves struggling to get out of bed or easily distracted when it's time to do things. But if you can remember the little girl or the little boy who is waiting for you to come help them, all of the sudden, all the motivation you need is instantly at your fingertips. No more waiting for something outside of you to fix it for you. You've removed the resistance. You've removed the cognitive dissonance. You've removed the drive towards things that you don't value. And all of the sudden, divine timing. And when I found those misalignments, I felt that shift in my body. I could feel the flow move through again. I could even feel the motivation return. No longer do I need to wait for divine timing to swoop in and rescue me. No longer will I sit idle and say, it's good enough. We have just enough. I can't possibly sit idle knowing that little girl needs me. And when you realize that the human eye is only capable of receiving and processing 0.0035% of reality, you also realize your responsibility in choosing to see what is already there. And I recognize that no one is more capable of fulfilling the purpose and the mission that I came for, of course, besides God. And yes, He will provide for me supernaturally. There will be moments of intervention, but those are few and far between, and the rest is up to us to stand in the gap. And until then, we must take full responsibility for the creative gifts that we have been given. And that requires stepping into the choice of new beliefs. And this is when you start to say, I know that I have received all of the guidance that I need. I know that I have everything within me. I know what needs to be done, and I trust myself to know what needs to be done. I give and receive love wherever I go. And there is an overflow of love and provision all around me in every moment. And I choose to not only see, but also receive. There is nothing that can stop me. And you can take it a step further and start to make the choice around what do you want to see in your life. My content reaches millions of eyes and ears who need to see it. My courses change lives in every moment, helping others break free. My business is always bringing hope and healing to others, even when I'm resting and relaxing. This is the kind of action you need to start taking instead of waiting. And this is when things start to happen. When I started to make this change and this shift in my life, views went up, random checks showed up in the mail, debts were magically erased, and new clients were filling the few remaining spaces. It was all about putting down the resistance within me. It was all about letting go of the belief that I have to wait on divine timing or something outside of me to come save me. Let's remember, everything is about energy. Resistance slows the flow of energy. Energy wants to grow and expand, and it will go where it can grow and expand. And if that's not you, it's going to go somewhere else. You are that powerful. It is working for you, that in your resistance, you are holding yourself in place. If we are resisting or constricting the expansion of the energy, it will go somewhere else where it can expand. And when you have a desire or a vision for expansion, most especially for your purpose and how you can be of service, the energy wants to flow to you and through you to assist in that expansion. The trick is, it's not going to flow to you to get you out of lack, and it will not come to rescue you from something you're trying to escape. So ask yourself, is what you are calling to you coming through a space of desire for growth and expansion and contribution, or is it coming from a place of not having enough or not being enough? Your natural state is prosperity and abundance. You don't have to become worthy. You don't have to earn it. In fact, you can't earn it because it's already yours. But you do have to learn how to stop blocking it. You have to learn how to receive it. You have to learn how to see it, and you have to, most importantly, learn how to believe it. What do you believe? Do you believe that you're waiting on divine timing or something outside of you to happen, to free you, to allow you, to support you? Or are you ready to step into the belief that I get to choose to find the beliefs and the resistance within me so that I can open up to the flow and allow myself to align to divine timing and expansion? And when you do learn to stop blocking yourself, everything you desire and seek will flow to you and through you from a place place of desire and expansion. If you need more help in learning how to do this, check out the latest video, How to Quantum Leap, and see your desired reality now. I love you, my friends. Namaste.